Hey guys, got a new, very different type of video for you today, and I've got something very exciting to share with you, so please do watch till the end of this, okay? So in this video I want to look at the question, what is the best way to improve at chess? Because I mean, today more than any other time we are absolutely spoiled with all the chess resources that we've got at our disposal, and in many ways that's also the problem for a lot of us. Okay, so this is really aimed at beginners and improvers who might be feeling frustrated, and I've played so many games, I've done so much study, but I don't seem to be able to break through that next level. You know, it might be the 500 rating or 800 or 1000 or 1200 or whatever it may be. Okay, and sometimes it seems like no matter what I do or how much information I take on board, for some reason I don't seem really to be making the progress that I feel like I should be making. So that's what we're going to look at in this video, and like I say, please stay and watch till the end, okay, because I've got something very completely new, very exciting to share with you. Okay, so broadly there are three main approaches that we've got available to us today, or three categories, okay? And the first one is solo study. So you're studying on your own, okay? And you're using free resources. Now we've got an incredible array of free resources. I mean, there've always been, blogs out there. Well, I say always, for the last 30 years or so. There's lots of chess blogs, and there's so much on YouTube. I publish on YouTube myself, and even the handful of other chess YouTubers that I follow, there's no way that I can even consume all the content that they put out, right? So there's many times more content out there for free on YouTube that you can watch, but it would take 100 lifetimes, to be able to take it all in. Apart from that, the vast majority of that content is not pitched at your level. It's either too advanced, or it's not advanced enough, or whatever, right? And I get so many comments from people who say, I watch these IMs and grandmasters, and they're streaming and they're playing like 3-minute blitz, or they're playing bullet chess, or I watch on Twitch and stuff like that, and they're just moving too quick, right? It's not at the pace that's right for me, okay? So make no mistake, we're absolutely spoiled with the amount of stuff that's out there, but like I say, that is one of the big problems. Or you can, if you've got money to spend on paid resources, there's loads of things that you can do out there as well. You can get books. I've got this book, which I don't know if I've read. No, I haven't read that one. I've read most of this one. I've read not a very lot of this one, right? Jeremy Silman, and I was recommended by one of my coaches to get Dvoretsky's Endgame Manual. But these books this is tough stuff. You've got these tiny little diagrams, you've got all of this text to go through, and you really need to lock yourself in a room with a chessboard and study that stuff. And that's the way that people used to get better, okay? In addition to books that you can buy, there are loads and loads of courses out there, and I know many of us have invested quite a lot in courses. And I've definitely learned some stuff from courses, but I've had to invest to do that. One of the problems with courses, and I've taught people sub 1,000 who've spent 4 figures on chess courses, but the courses very often tend to be around specific openings, okay? And that's really more relevant when you get up towards the 2,000 level, okay? So it's all about openings and a lot of kind of theory. And the problem with theory is, if you're a beginner or an improving player, you don't need theory. You really do not need to, that your boundary of growth, your growth edge, right? You're not going to improve that quickly by trying to memorize a load of opening moves, 10, 12 moves deep, okay? It's not relevant to you as a beginner or as an improver. And then beyond that, you've got lessons. Now, chess lessons can be fantastic. In a way, you kind of say that getting lessons off a coach, if you can find the right coach, is probably like the fast track. It's a great way to improve, but you do have to kiss a bunch of frogs very often to find a coach who has the right kind of personality, the right kind of communication style, and who can genuinely understand what it's like for you, kind of get into your skin, get into your thought processes, and be able to say, okay, I can tell what the next steps are that you need to be taking from exactly where you are. And this is difficult. I mean, I've paid 4 or 5 coaches in the past, some titled players, and there have been a few kind of common issues with getting lessons. Okay, and here's the thing: if you're a beginner now, as well as the fact that they can be blooming expensive as well. I've taught, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I gave some lessons to one student, sub 1,000, who had paid $250 for 1 hour with a well-known international master and YouTuber, okay, for a 1 hour lesson. Now this guy's like 600, 700, okay? So what's he going to get for $250 is a fortune, right? You don't need to be spending that kind of money, okay? So aside from the cost, there's a few other issues. One thing that I found with learning from title players, and this does not apply to everybody, there's some fantastic teachers out there, make no mistake, and if you can find the right one, fantastic, and if you can afford it, great, no problem at all. But they do tend to be, like some of the courses out there, very much focused on theory, okay? So I've had lessons with probably 3 different title players who've ended up sending me these intense PGN files that I then go, what the hell am I meant to do with that? I'm not going to be going into that level of detail in this particular opening. I don't know what it is about my character or the way that I think. Studying PGN files on my own is not my kind of thing. So there does tend to be too much of a focus on kind of mastering openings. Now, if you're a FIDE master, national master, IM, whatever, that is what you have to be really focused on, right? But for beginners and improvers, it's not the same. It's not the same because for at the lower levels, which is the vast majority, the 99% of players out there, what we need to be doing, we are potty training our chess minds, okay? It's you just trying not to shit the bed, basically, to be blunt. So it's things like, how do you avoid blunders? How do you avoid massive tactical or positional, errors? How do you train your mind to think about chess? How do you read the board? How do you come up with candidate moves? How do you select the right moves? And basic calculation stuff, okay? And you don't get that from giant PGN files, okay? And so it's not about theory. It's not really about openings. So if you think about it, I'd say, so I'm around the 1,500 level. How many games that I've played thousands of games online, how many of those games have been decided by opening theory? A minuscule number, right? It comes down to blunders, hanging pieces, missing basic tactics, that kind of thing, okay? So what really makes the difference in your improvement is not about mastering particular openings and stuff like that, although it's very easy to get kind of sucked into all of that. What you need to do when you are a beginner or improver is you need to know what are the steps for me, basically what are the mistakes I'm making right now, or what am I missing right now, okay? When I look at the board, what is it that I'm missing, okay? And it's pretty much as simple as that. So what do we need as beginners or improvers, okay? What do we actually need, okay? So there's so many areas of the game. I mean, it's such a simple game in many ways, but it's so complex and intricate, you know. So you've got, development, positional play, you've got selecting candidate moves, you've got basic calculation, you've got all these tactics, you know, strategy, attacking, defending, all of these different areas of the game, okay? And apart from that, basically just looking at the board and reading the board, okay? So what we need to do is in many of those areas, we just need to make small increments, well, one at a time. And it really is like self-described chess as a journey, right? You're going on a long journey, and it's literally one step in front of the other. And there's so many different ways to get to your destination, which is improvement, right? And so you can improve this little area, then you work on this little area, and then so it's like, what are the biggest things what are my biggest blind spots right now? What kind of mistakes am I making? And we say this so often, that chess games are decided by mistakes. It's just that you make a different quality of mistake as you improve. Okay, so we make hideous blunders when we're first learning, and then we make slightly less hideous blunders, and then as you get further on, the depth of the game, the layers in the game get bigger and bigger, but what constitutes a mistake becomes a lot more subtle. Okay, but we don't need to worry about that, right? We're working on potty training our mind. So you want to build in increments. You've got to learn to walk before you can run. Okay, and like I say, you have to identify, what is it that I'm missing? What are my biggest blind spots right here, right now? Okay, so how on earth do we do that? So I've been in long conversations in the last few months with some other chess teachers, right? Trying to kind of answer this question. And there's another really key factor that I find, and that I've really discovered through teaching myself and giving lessons myself, which is you can study all the books you want, right? You can watch all the videos you want, and you can have a kind of an intellectual understanding of, yes, I understand this is what I'm meant to do. I understand that I'm meant to develop my pieces and control the center and so on and so forth. But there's a huge difference between knowing what you're meant to do and being able to pull it out when you're actually over the board, right? Or in the browser, when you're actually playing a game in a 10-minute format or whatever, actually doing it is very different to just understanding it. So knowing what to do in principle is not the same as actually applying it. Okay, so let me give like a couple of examples from students that I've personally taught. So I had one lesson recently with a student who seemed to have a blind spot with knights, right? So the way that I work when I do one-to-one lessons is I have my student share their screen, and then they pull up a game with one of the bots on chess.com, and I have them talk through their process, right? So, okay, what do you see on the board? What is the board telling you, right? What did your opponent just do? What changed? Why did they make that move? Okay, but reading the board. And then we move on to, okay, what do I need to be doing now? Do I need to be attacking or defending? What's most important? Then you come up with candidate moves, and then you select candidate moves based on which is likely to put you in the best position rather than your opponent. Okay, so we go through quite slowly, and then what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into the mind of my student so that I can identify, well, look, I've seen something here that you've missed, right? And here's the thing, because I'm a few hundred points higher rated than they are, yeah, I see things, because I'm more experienced, I see things much more easily and quicker than they do, and I'm able to point those things out, and then they go, oh yeah, I didn't see that. Yeah, you're right. And that really is the key. It's when it's pointed out, when you understand it in real time, live in front of the board during a game, it somehow sinks in better. So other examples, like I had like one student who had a habit that I was able to spot of being over defensive against attacks that weren't really very deadly, you know. So, oh, my opponent. So it's like far too much defense and not enough offense. So, you know, oh, my opponent might want to do that to me. I need to defend against that. So they're constantly defending and never actually go out to win the game. Okay, so there's a universe of different possibilities out there. So the breakthrough for this came actually with something that we did last May. So May 21, and we tried a new kind of online session where we got some of my students and some of my friends and my chess tutor, okay, as well. And we did a live session with people ranging from 600 to 2200, okay? And we took on a bot. This was a 2100 rated bot. And the way that we did it was we had the lower rated attendees would say what they saw on the board. And then we'd kind of work up the rating ladder as we went up. And we'd each give our insights. So here's the key thing, is that you get to see it's like the delta, the difference between you at your level and then somebody 200 or 300 points higher rated goes, yeah, but this. But then somebody higher rated than them goes, aha, however, so-and-so. Okay. Now, this session was brilliant. So on here we had, if you look at the screen, we've got Christina, who started out as a student of mine and is now 1500 rated. Right, and there's me and Ed, who is a student of mine, and Tony, and then Craig, who was about 1800 at the time, and then James from Chess Goals, buddy of mine, and we've done a few videos together, and then Daniel, who was my coach, who's a FIDE master. Okay, and quite honestly, I can remember things that I learned in that game to this day, okay, in an hour and a half or whatever it took. And I cannot honestly say that I can say the same about any individual lesson that I've paid for, right? So there's something about working alongside live in real time somebody who is a bit higher rated than you are, because the gap between the way that you think and the way that somebody a few hundred points higher rated thinks, okay, that gives you the map of the steps that you need to be taking next in order to improve, right? Like we say, you've got to walk before you can run. So, you know, to take a lesson of somebody who's 2500 IM, right, it's very different because they are so far ahead of you, okay? So that sometimes the way I like to think of it is they are your guide, but you're going through a dark, tangled forest, right? Very hard to see. Now, if your guide is half a mile ahead of you, saying, over here, come over here, you know, follow me, you can't see where you're putting your feet. What you need is somebody just ahead of you to shine the light. Okay, to say, okay, step here, this is what you need to do now, and we can make progress that way. Okay, so that's something that I find quite useful. So this is what we've come up with. We thought, why can't we use that kind of model as a new way of training and learning chess? Okay, so here's our idea, and this is what I want to present to you guys today and invite you, if it's right for you, to be part of today. Okay, so Chess Bootcamp Live. So the idea is that we're going to run live sessions via Zoom online multiple times per week, right? Now, the way it's going to work is we're going to have a maximum group size of 10 or 12 students, attendees in each one, okay? And we'll be doing, we're going to try out a range of different ideas. But one of them will certainly be for the group together, okay, to be doing puzzles or live games, okay, but they collaborate. And the interesting thing is that you're going to be in groups of, you know, a band of 200, 300 points. So everyone's going to be around the same level. And then you're going to have a coach who's more experienced, who is 400 or 500 points higher rated than you, okay? And they will be able to help to point out your blind spots. This is something you've missed. This is something you need to incorporate into your thought process, into your checklist, when you choose what move you're going to make. So that's what chess is about at the end of the day, okay? So 12 per group maximum. Now, you can actually attend any sessions that you want. So we're going to have sessions for, beginners and going up from there. You can actually attend any of them, any sessions that you like, okay? But the students who belong in that particular band will be live. They'll be able to join via audio if they want, video if they want, or just type in the chat or whatever. And but everyone else is perfectly free to sit in live and watch the session. Okay. Plus, every single session is going to be recorded. You're going to have a members area where you can catch up on all the recordings. So you'll be able to go in and say, okay, I want to look at things aimed at 800 to 900. Okay, and you'll have all the lessons, all the sessions that have ever been done for people at that particular level, right? And you can browse that to your heart's content. Okay, and because we've got a maximum group size, the more people who join in, the more sessions we're going to have. Okay, so who would be your coaches? So there's James that you recognise from the previous video. So James runs the Chess Goals YouTube channel. James is currently 1800 rated at Rapid. You've got Christina, Tigers Without Stripes, who I've sparred with a few times on my videos. Christina's now 1500 rated at Rapid. Very, very talented attacking aggressive player. Then you've got Craig, who is also on that group session, a friend of mine, and Craig is 2000 rated at Rapid. And then in the bottom right, that's me. Yeah, it's slightly younger than I am now, but I thought it was a nice picture. Okay, so that's who your coaches are going to be. And we're going to divide it into bands. And again, the more people who subscribe to Chess Bootcamp Live, the narrower the bands we can do, the more sessions that we can do. Okay, so you might have sessions aimed solely at people rated 900 to 1000 or 1000 to 1100. So you'll be studying live in a collaborative and fun way with people at your level, right? So one of the other issues that I think there can be with lessons is that lessons can be a little bit intimidating. If you're with somebody who's 1500 points higher rated than you are, okay, and they're asking you questions, it's a bit like I kind of tense up a bit and you feel like you're on the spot, and you kind of feel you might feel stupid, when they ask you something you don't know. But working with a group of other beginners, other improving players, that I think that kind of stress can, you can just let go of all of that stuff, because everyone's going to be making similar mistakes, but different types of mistakes, and you'll learn off each other and you'll pick up ideas off each other, and then you're going to have the coach there who's going to support you and show you those next steps that you can take. So for example, this is what we're going to start with in February. Okay, so Christina might take the class for people below 750. I might take the next band, 750 to 1000, the breakthrough group. James would take 1000 to 1250, for example, and then Craig, who's 2000 rated, would take the more advanced people, for example. Okay, and like I say, as this grows, we could have more bands, we could have more coaches, we're certainly going to have a lot more sessions as well. Okay, now some people would say, this is ridiculous, you're not titled players, what are you guys doing? Craig's 2000, he's not an FM or NM. How dare you try and teach people chess? You're going to be teaching them wrong, they say. Now, so what I say to these people is, well, if you've learnt to drive, right, who taught you the basics of how to drive a car safely and not crash and run over people, right? You might have learned off a parent. You might have learned off a driving instructor. Now, I guarantee your driving instructor wasn't Michael Schumacher or Carlos Sainz, right? or a top level Lewis Hamilton, a professional racing driver, right? The best drivers in the world. Okay, you learn off somebody who knows how to teach the basics. Okay, if you want to learn, how to play tennis, you've never played tennis in your life, and your cousin knows how to swing a tennis racket and takes you down the local court, and you have a knockabout the local court, and they say, look, here's the basics of your forehand, your backhand, here's how to serve, right? It doesn't matter that it's not Roger Federer, right? You can help somebody who wants to improve if you've got that experience, if you've been through that yourself. You absolutely can, help people. And I know this. All four of us have given plenty of lessons before. Christina, James, Craig. We've all taught lessons. We've all taught beginners. We've all helped people. So we've got that track record that we absolutely know we can step into the shoes of somebody who is a few hundred points behind us and help them to get better. So this is what we're saying. We're going to run a pilot in the month of February, and then it will carry on from there. Okay, so in February, this is going to be a limited pilot, limited numbers, and we're going to try out a range of ideas because we've never done this with these particular types of groups in this particular way. So we're going to try out different ideas for lessons, for sessions. We might have a little bit of formal training there. We'll all jump into a game together. We might be doing puzzles together. We might be one group of students against another group of students, each with their own coach. Who knows? So the whole point of this is we want to learn. We want to do it collaboratively. We want to do it socially. We want to make it fun. We want to make it entertaining and enjoyable for everyone. Okay, so that's the idea. Coming up this next month, I'm recording this. It's the last day of January. It starts tomorrow, guys. So depending on when you're watching this. Okay, so what will this cost for Chess Bootcamp Live? So what it's going to be, right, once the pilot is over, the monthly subscription, this is for full membership, so you get invited to the live sessions, and of course you get access to all the recordings of all the sessions that have ever been done, will all be stored there in an archive that you can browse, okay, very easily. So full monthly membership is going to be $49 a month, okay? Now, considering how many sessions you're going to be getting, that is a fraction of the cost that you would pay for lessons, fraction of the cost that you would pay for courses, to be honest. So that's about £36 a month, 43, 44 euros a month. However, what we are offering right now is a one-time founder membership, right? If you come in on day one, right, at the ground level, we're going to drop that down to $39 a month. That's about £29, 35 euros. It's our way of saying thank you for collaborating with us and helping us to figure this out and to build a platform for the future. Okay, but we've got to limit it to 100 subscribers, right? We can't do more than that. Now, if you think about this, if we're going to limit sessions to 10 or 12, right, maximum at a time, if we get 100 sign-ups for this, that could be 10 sessions per week, right? 10 one-hour sessions every week. That's 40 sessions a month, okay, for $39. Now, even if you don't attend that many live, if you maybe make one a week or two a week, right, that's no problem, but you get access to all the recordings for all of those. That's less than $1 per session. It's like 99 cents for a 1 hour live, social, fun training session with other people around your rating band and an experienced coach. Okay, now, so we think that is it's going to be far better. I personally, I think this is the best way to learn chess. And I'll tell you, I'm going to be in James's sessions, right? I'm going to be in Craig's sessions because I'm going to be their student. And that's the way it works. Yeah, we're all going to be learning of people who are a bit further down the path than we are. The people who know where we are, they know the steps, they can see the gaps and the blind spots and the mistakes that we make, and they understand it because they've been there themselves quite recently, and they can help us through it, okay? So $1 per session, you cannot complain. And Apart from that, I'm going to take away any risk for it. So if at any time in your first month, you think, do you know what, I haven't got quite the value that I expected or hoped I was going to get from this, just tell me, drop me an email and say, this is my experience, no other questions asked, just let me know. I will unsubscribe you and I'll give you your money back for the first month. Okay, so there's no risk whatsoever to you at all. So this is it. If you're ready to improve, then let's do it. Right? Like the quote, nobody knows quite where this came from, but if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. Okay, so you can carry on doing, watching the entertaining YouTube videos, watching the Grandmasters play Blitz, and you can keep buying courses, you can keep buying books that like me, I don't know if you read yours, but I haven't read mine, or let's try something new. Let's do it together. Let's learn together. So if you think that this sounds right for you and this is something that you'd like to try out risk-free for yourself, this is what you need to do. So the first thing you do, go along to chessbootcamp.club. That's going to be where our website is, where the whole archive and the library of all the lessons is going to be. That's where you're going to get the calendar of what days the sessions are on, who they're with, what times of day, all that kind of stuff. And hopefully we're going to have lots and lots of sessions every week. Okay. When you sign up, you need to enter the passcode CBC friend, and that's going to drop the price down from $49 to $39 for you. Okay. And remember, training starts tomorrow. At the time of recording, we are starting tomorrow. The first session is with Craig, our 2000 rated coach. Okay, so let me show you the website. Okay, so you go along to chessbootcamp.club. Okay, the pawn of war here is going to challenge you, and remember, we know the passcode, so you click on that and you'll come up to the sign up form. Okay, now you put in your name, your email, choose a username, and give us your general rapid rating. So you might put a 500 or 1,000 or whatever, just so that we know which group you need to be in. Okay, you put a password, and then here you have to put CBC friend, and then that will drop the price down from $49 to $39, and that is all you need to do. And then we will take it from there. I'll be in touch and I'll let you know when the sessions are going to be, and again, we want lots and lots of feedback from you guys as well. So, if you say, I can't make these times, we might put on another session for you, So this is going to be highly, highly collaborative. We're very, very excited about it. I hope you're excited about it. I hope that this sounds like something that you've been waiting for to help you improve with less time spent and certainly less money spent as well. So hope you want to join us on this journey. Really do. Go on to chessbootcamp.club. Remember the passcode CBC friend, because you're a friend of the channel, and I look forward to working with you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.